I'm an old fan and very, very tired. The poem is by Louis Russell Chauvenet, a good friend of mine over the years, and it's called Corflu IV, and it appeared in the Nor'easkron Progress Report #1. When Earth's last fanzine is printed, and the inks are thinned and dried, and the oldest hectos have faded, and the youngest Neo had died. Yes. We shall rest, and goo, we shall need it. We will pass up a WorldCon or two, till the readers on other planets shall set us to publish anew. And no one shall edit for money, and no one shall publish for fame, but the Circon readers shall praise us, and the mundane types shall blame. Yet each for the fun of creation, and each by a separate star, shall print the things as he sees them, for the fanzine fans as they are. Bill has asked me to add a few words to that as concerning my rather unusual position in fandom as the EO Neo, which is a title of one of my apozines. I left fandom around 1948, and in 1979 I established a record of some sort by achieving the longest time between consecutive issues of a fanzine, 34 years. This was my fapazine, EHOS, pronounced EHOS because it's my fanzine, and I like to pronounce it that way. The letters stand, of course, for your humble, obedient servant, YHOS. But Bill has asked me, why did I come back? And I thought a little about that, and I think there are a couple of reasons. One of these is people. I never quite severed the cord. Even in the late 50s and early 60s, I had subscribed to Warhoon. I still corresponded with Chauvenet about once in 3 years. He is, of course, I think, primarily responsible for my comeback. Then I started going to cons. I went to a WesterCon in 1964, I think, because it was in the Bay Area and I heard about it. And I got into an all-night poker session with Fred Pohl, Jim Blish, Elmer Perdue, and several others. Fortunately, there were 3 others who weren't as good as Blish and Pohl at raking in the money. But I saw the dawn come up, and I was beginning to get hooked again. And I went to a few more cons, and Alva Rogers was at some of these and remembered me. All the other Neos like Ted White and so forth, they didn't know me from nothing. Although maybe Ted did, I shouldn't say that. But the people who did croggle me with recognition at a Norwestcon was Patrick and Teresa Nielsen Hayden, who came up to me at Norwest. Oh, you're Art Widner. My goodness, you did so and so and blah, blah, blah. And wow. I thought, wow, somebody does remember. There is continuity in fandom after all. Then in '79 at Iguanacon, there was this sudden dip in FAPA waiting list, and Andy Andrushak was recruiting and asked me, why don't you think about getting in FAPA? Okay, yeah, Andy, I'll think about it. Figuring, real soon now that maybe in 3 or 4 years I might be expected to do something, but the waiting list was down to nothing, and all of a sudden, here I was, do you want in or don't you? And pub your ish, Joe Fan. And Joe Fan did, and I'm back again. The thing I think that, one of the things that keeps me from drifting off again, is the development at cons of the fanzine room, fan rooms, whatever you want to call it, where I can meet and talk not only to the old-timers like Lynn Hickman, who is here somewhere, and other people that, hello, that I know from the old days, but to meet all the new young fans who are my kind of fans. You all are my kind of fans, and that's why I'm here. Fandom, I think, is sort of like an extended family, and it was that to me in the early days, and in between, in that 34 years, didn't realize it, but I was searching for some kind of community, some kind of extended family that I didn't find in, or only to a limited extent, not the same extent that I find it in fandom. I found it partially in the college faculty where I taught for many years, in my own family that I created, of course, and in various places that I lived in other organizations. But never quite an adequate substitute, because in fandom, I think we kid ourselves if we think that we don't have thug heads and feuds and so forth, just like the mundanes do. But I think they are present to a lesser degree in fandom, and to a greater degree, there is the warmth and acceptance of similar minds where you can say any fucking thing you want to, and people will listen to you and reply in kind. And now I'll turn it back to Bill. Thank you.